Let's jump into our YouGov Insights segment, guys, because this is an interesting one. We're calling this Travel Insights, I think is interesting. The psychographic profile of U.S. gaming content enthusiasts. Okay, so this is people in the U.S. who watch gaming content. They gave a bunch of different statements, and they looked at what percentage of U.S. gaming content enthusiasts agreed. Okay, and so the first statement here is sponsorship can help keep companies socially relevant. Okay, so again, keep in mind, they're asking gaming content enthusiasts. They're asking people who watch Twitch, who watch esports, who watch gaming content on YouTube. And they're asking them, a company sponsors this content that you're watching, does it help keep that company socially relevant? 66% agree with that statement. In your mind, guys, a powerful statement, a powerful driver of what brands should be thinking about in terms of the content they're sponsoring?
I totally agree. I think that it just goes to show like the change in types of advertising that companies should be pursuing. Being more targeted and instead of going with kind of the billboard on the highway approach is just proving to be really valuable in terms of retention. I think as time has gone on, people have learned to like ignore commercials or ignore billboards or ignore these different types of things. But when your favorite streamer or your favorite team or whatever has a sponsor that is noticeable, it's much easier to remember.
56% agree that they like to support their teams by buying products from the sponsors.
To me, that one is
huge.
What I find to be the most interesting on this slide. The ones that are going to support their teams. It was what I was just speaking towards with the Doc Disrespect story about fans and if they're going to follow and buy or whatnot. And this is taking it a step further and applying it to the sponsors of those content creators. But I mean, how massive are these numbers? Everything's over 50%, and some of these well into the 60s. As a sponsor, as an industry that's heavily reliant on sponsors, incredibly actionable data, but also like just really, really strong leanings here. Not,
well, yeah. I mean look at that last one, Jimmy. Yeah. Look at the last one on the list. Like if you're a brand and you're not sponsoring gaming content, you really need to sort of rethink your whole strategy, in my mind, when you look at this last data point. And again, data from YouGov. This is why you hire YouGov, because this is the kind of confidence it gives you. Look at this last one. If you sponsor my team, I will buy your products. 52% agree with that statement. I mean, that's like half the people who watch that piece of content basically are saying, if you sponsor it, I'll buy the product. US adult esports fans, they wanted to understand how esports fans in the US feel about travel, and they picked a few statements where a very large percentage of US esports fans agree. And I'll start with the one that had the largest amount of agreement, which is, I tend to spend my leisure time on hobbies and activities. Kind of a general statement, right? Not surprising that 81% would agree. More interesting maybe is the second one, which is, I am excited to generally spend more time traveling. 65% of esports fans agree with that statement. Everyone thinks of esports fans, gamers, as like recluses, right? Like this is the stereotype. Yet 65% are excited about spending more time traveling. Like again, travel industry companies, brands in and around travel. This is an extremely lucrative market to be going after, and one you wouldn't necessarily think of, right? You wouldn't necessarily think gamers who spend time in front of their computers or their consoles are prime travel potential clients.
I totally think this is like a content is king thing, though. Like, I mean, so many esports fans follow different influencers who are going out and doing things, and then you go out and want to do things. I mean, my brother-in-law like spends his entire day either playing League of Legends or watching League of Legends, and watched one YouTube video about a giant slide in Switzerland, and now he's going to Switzerland next summer to ride on the slide. Like there's I think like content makes a huge difference here.
I'm personally not a fan of wasting time at airports, but I guess we could start putting some land centers in different airports, and I know we have a story on our website about about that actually. What I thought of immediately when I was looking through this slide was actually the Dark Zero Esports out of Las Vegas and their partnership with Resorts World. I thought FaZe might have also had a relationship with them as well. But for me, if I'm a travel services provider, whether that's an airplane, or rather just any airline, or even hotels and certain resorts, these are really interesting insights to attract or to start attacking this community, with sponsors, I guess, and pairing it to the slide before.
Esports fans are ready to get back to events. And here, what they're looking at is the comfort level attending any reopened event, whether it's festival, concerts, esports events, trade shows, etc. If you look at the general population 18 plus, only 63% right now are comfortable attending reopened events compared to esports audience, the esports fans, where it's 70%. So you have a higher percentage of esports fans who want to get back to events. And so again, I think about how is YouGov data actionable? If you're marketing an event and you're thinking about what's the audience that's most likely to come out in person to attend my event, it really is esports fans by a significant margin, right? This is not an insignificant percentage difference.
I think that the LA Anime Expo that just happened this past weekend that got shut down due to fire concerns because it was absolutely jam freaking packed is a good, whoa, that's a new view, is a good indicator for this. So I would say that I feel like that data is pretty accurate.